Next up, what did you bring?
I brought you my mess.
Oh, let's see. That's
It's not horrible yet.
we'll see. This should be fun.
I stopped at the yet.
All right.
So the odds of me getting this done are slim to none.
Okay. Hello. Not too loud. Here, clip this on. Fun. Stay out of that way. Okay, my board is done. Let me clip myself here.
Well, man.
See if you can point the thingy up. That's such a cheap piece of crap. I got what I paid for.
Slippy?
That should work. All right, so who are you?
I am Ross from UBREAKIFIX.
Nice to meet you. Flux.
Oh,
All
that's
right, so what do we have here?
So I had a customer accurately say their LED driver or backlight driver burnt out and they had no backlight. And I took it in just to diag it. I opened it up. I took a picture because I obviously didn't have the video feed. And surprisingly, they were very accurate.
Oh, it's very rare.
Very rare. And that is actually on the entire motherboard, the only area that has corrosion on it. There was no other signs of liquid damage. So, given that was the case, I did try to remove it. Now the problem is this. This pad is gone. It's ultra farked and burnt away.
Which? Show me where.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that thing for?
That is why I'm here.
I'm watching the stream to avoid the mental bore of refurbing 130 Dell desktops. That sounds painful.
But I was looking as we're talking, and I saw that this went through, I'm pretty sure, if I read the schematic right, that it does run through PP3v3SO.
Let's see, what is that thing for? Open with Sumatra. Okay. Let's get the multi-view. Okay, so you're missing this PP3v3SO,
Yeah.
which goes to the middle. Huh. How'd that could go?
So, it was pretty bad because this is it being removed, and you can see that's where it is, and the resistor that's right here is fine, but that one was just ultra destroyed. Now the key was what we were talking about with the enamel wire.
The first question is, do you need it?
Yeah, that was the main question because I just jumped to doing it and realized.
Okay, so So this is C7711. C7711. So that is a capacitor between PP3v3SO and ground, probably for smoothing. Which may not be needed. So the real question is whether or not the PP3v3SO is already here, or if it needs to travel from here to that ball up there. Because on the board view, it says that this is PP3v3SO. So the first thing I would do is measure to see if that's actually already there. Because if it is, all you need to do is put an LED driver.
And then it's golden.
Yeah. So let's see. Now this should be able to turn on without an LED driver. I just got to find a DC in board somewhere. So we'll get a DC in board and come right back. Here. You read this and try to find comments that are not trolly. Let's see.
I was watching the stream to avoid the mental bore. This is what you get to deal with all day, right?
Pretty much.
Hey man, I gotta say, a little envious.
Okay.
A long time coming.
So let's plug this in.
Hey, you might actually be a fan of us now, man. We switched over to Samsung.
Wow. You got the shirt and everything.
Yeah, they forced us to wear it. There is actually a live email saying, make sure you wear your Samsung shirts, which I thought to be a little entertaining.
Okay, so plug in. All right, so my first question is, does 3.3 volts show up at that point with that pad missing? So it's in the middle, which is here. Yeah. Come on. Interesting. Oh, that's painful. Let me close this chat window. Jesus Christ. There's nothing any good in there. Alright, so the 5... Wait a second. Yeah, meter. 5 volts where 5 volts is supposed to be. But no 3 volts where 3 volts is supposed to be. So let's first... let's see if there's any there could be dirt under the solder. So let's dig a little. Maybe
I wouldn't doubt it. I was undesirably thinking it might be a smart decision to take solder paste and, just custom make my own balls that were very uneven and inaccurate. I figured that would be the best method.
I'm not quite convinced that 3.3 volts hops from that capacitor pad to the underneath to underneath the IC. Hugs and kisses to you too, X Gilmore. Hugs and kisses to you too. Okay. So, first thing to do is clean it and turn it back on and see if 3.3 volts shows up. So 3.3 volts is supposed to show up over here, where obviously it won't, and over here for those of you following along at home. And we get 0.07. That sucks. So, alright, so right now there are two things we can do. We can either steal this voltage from somewhere else on the board. So we have 3.3 volts SO, so we can steal this from any one of these many points. But it may require running a jumper under the board, and that sucks. The second thing that we can do is try to kind of follow where this came from. So it comes from this, and then goes into there. So let's see if we can do a little scrapey, and then find and see if PP3V3SO is over here. So a little bit of stabbing, a little bit of scraping, and okay. Now, let's see if there's a nub left that we can use. Maybe able to dig and find a nub, and then you can put a little solder ball on top of the nub and melt it on there and then make a new pad. Unless it's totally ripped off. Why don't you scratch the trace to the left? Well, we've done that, but now we have to attach it to the nub in the board that it was originally attached to. But good thinking on Sasa's part. Whose name I'm probably not pronouncing properly. Let's clean this a little as we go, too. Stealing is bad, says X Gilmore. Okay, is this a nub?
That's pretty stumpy.
Let's see if that's... Eh? Come on. Nah. comes from this and goes to there is where? Well, okay, 3.3 volts comes in through this. See where I'm pointing to? From here. And then it goes to this pad. From this pad, it then goes to this pad. I'm trying to figure out if I can make this, fix the connection between here and here by digging into the board where it was originally to avoid the misery of running a wire from here to here, which would suck. And I dig and I dig and I see no nub. Let's get an X-Acto knife or something. Dig a little.
Now that side right here that you're talking about, that's where it does flip, obviously, down to the opposite side of the board, just from this line where that end is.
Yeah.
It's gonna switch over.
Well, not switch over to the other side. It's just there's gonna be another layer under this. Let's see if we can. But that nub is. Yeah. I don't think there's gonna be a nub down here. I'm probably gonna hit a ground plane before a nub. Oh, what's this? Whew. Hello. I see something. I see London, I see France, I see PP3V3SO. Or is that ground? One way to find out. Zoom. Alright, what are you? I found something. Okay, let's put the meter in beeping mode and see if that goes to the up here where I need it to. Let's see if that's ground. Oh, okay, we found it. So this goes to this. Hear that?
That is beautiful.
Finally caught one live. I'm looking at building a hi-fi, but I want high-end than the cheap. Find a fix. What do you say is the most troublesome component of repair, and how hard would it be to find the schematics? Most troublesome component to repair is a really general question. If you want to build a hi-fi setup for cheap, get the cheapest old receiver that you can. A set of Vandersteen speakers off AudioGone for like $300 or $400. They're like in the $10,000 to $20,000 range, but they in sound, but they only cost $300 to $400. In terms of the hardest thing to fix, I suppose crap like this for sure. So now what we have to do is we have to find a way to solder to that nub. So what I'm gonna do is find a solder ball and shove it in there and try to use it from my SMC rework stencil thingy. So you know when I'm trying to solder an SMC and all my balls fly away? Yeah, I save them. You should always save your spare balls. You never know when you're going to need them later. You never know when you're going to need a spare set of balls, especially if you get into a custody battle, because, geez, they'll be gone before you know it. So I'm going to try and put a ball in there. Then I'm going to solder a wire between here and here. And then I'm going to put an LED driver on and pray that that doesn't fall away. Love your videos, inspiring me to get in repair. Thank you, S7J7D7. Alright, so we dug and we found some buried treasure. Arr. Okay, so.
See, for me, this is what I made the mistake of doing.
What?
It's like, let me just go.
Oh, you were trying to run the wire.
Just run the wire
Jesus.
and just get it to the spot. I was like, let me just cut out all, and just go straight to it.
Yeah. Good
So
instinct.
that's where I stopped, you know? At least I got common sense still. I've lost a lot of things. Common sense.
So, we dig. The work you're doing reminds me of the dentist, and it's scaring the crap. Oh yeah, I can't stand going to the dentist either. I still have my wisdom teeth. I'm far too much of a sissy to have the needle shoved in my mouth and have somebody yank on it. Ugh. Alright, so here's what we gotta do. I gotta place a solder ball in there, and then melt it, and then it'll turn into a pad. So, let's get a solder ball. And just to give you an idea, these are the ends of tweezers. This is a single solder ball, and that is the size of the pad that we're trying to put it on. For those viewing at home, that is aggravatingly tiny. So we're going to try and melt that onto there.
That's for all the people who ask, is my repair ready yet?
For everybody who asks, is my repair ready yet?
2 hours into it, a couple days into it. Are you done yet?
I have an extension for that, actually. Let's see. Yeah. What do you use as a phone system?
Me?
Yeah, I mean at work.
Oh, like as my personal use or for
No, like for the business.
Oh, we just use our regular phone service like Fios.
Cause I have a bunch of these different extensions we created where it's like, let's see.
I was wondering because anytime I call, you get that.
That's great. Now get the fuck out of here.
I have all these different extensions for stuff like that. All
Yeah,
the
see, that's the downside of being part of the franchise. Is
Michael?
you when you're part of a franchise, I think you start to lose the ability to have that freedom.
You can't select. You can't be selective.
You can't be selective.
I send all the douchebag customers to Sunny.
I personally,
Did I say
I'll
that
get
out
these
loud?
people. I'll get these people coming in, and they'll, they fight and fight, and I'm like, man, if you weren't, if I was just a regular guy on the street, you'd be get the fuck out. But
The
unfortunately,
ball
I
was
don't
too
know.
big. Damn. I need a smaller ball.
He said, here, I won't pay child support anyway.
That's not a good thing. You should pay child support. If
Nor
you
is
have children.
$2 enough.
That ball looks like it may be a little too big for this application as well. Okay, let's see. Do I have any hopes of tinning it with this? Gentle. Gentle. Good. All right. Thanks for giving me the confidence to repair my own plasma TV. Only through the... I missed some of it. Let's find out where that went. How does this work? Jesus. Skinny wire. Thanks for giving me the confidence to fix my own plasma TV. Only through hull caps, but it's a start. Hey. If you made it work again, that's great. Honestly, even if you didn't make it work again, but you opened it and you learned something, that's great. Good on you. Alright. It's got to be an old TV if it's plasma. Alright, so let's try and stretch that wire over now. I actually want to solder it to the left section first so that I'm not yanking on that crappy little whatever's left of that pad. There, so now I have the freedom to... Let's just scrape all this away. Paul's not here, so he won't mind that I'm scraping the board with his $50 iron tip that we only have one left of. I'm sure Paul's fine with me destroying the last of the T30-KN. He's a cool guy like that. Can you bridge that with solder alone? Maybe, but it probably wouldn't last, and I don't want to mess it up too much. This stuff should last, man. Okay, so now I got a nice strong base for this to be attached to. Now I got to just get that little wire in there and get it soldered to my bead. Let's up the light since we're upping the zoom. You won't be able to see very well. Up light. Bada bing. Too much flux. There's no such thing. Who said too much flux? What channel do you think you're on? Okay. I think that's connected. Ah, blinding. So now we're going to remove the excess wire and see if what we did actually works. So how do we tell if this works? Oh, you have to beep it. So take this. Wait, my meter's not on beep mode, is it? There we go. Beep! Yes. All right. So now I got to put a chip on there, and hopefully that wire doesn't move. I'm confident that that wire is not going to move.
Now, when you're testing the continuity and doing this beep test, just because it's going like from point A to point B, is that guaranteed also? And this is something I've always really never tested for.
What?
That it's gonna have that 3-volt directly there.
It should, as long as there's 3.3 volts there. Like, it should have 3.3 volts over here, since we reconnected the break over here.
Right.
Now, even if it doesn't, let's say the 3.3 volts is created inside the board. I don't even care at that point, because I can just wire it to here, which is infinitely easier than wiring it to there. But I think we already measured that we had 3.3 volts at that point prior to doing all that stuff.
Yeah, once you scrape it, you gotta...
Yeah, after I scraped that area, I think I measured for 3.3. So now all that's left to do is shove the chip on, and I'll put this away.
Oh, by the way, I really do love this quick. It is...
I like this station.
I mean, I came here, I was like, Steve, you gotta let me get it. Like, I gotta do it today. I can't order it online.
This is not an ad for those watching at home. This is not an ad.
It's not an ad. It's not paid for. This is a wonderful station.
Maybe kind of an ad. Why didn't place the chip before? Why would I want to knock into the chip while I'm doing this? Why would you torture yourself?
How could you test that time?
Yeah, also, how do you test the continuity? How do you know if you won?
Remember, we don't test stuff. We just fix. We throw it together, hand it back to the customer, and wait for them to return for warranty.
Same here. Who needs quality control? Waste of money.
I think the biggest waste of money is what I was trying to do, which was just not buy a chip that has balls on it.
Yeah, the chip is $2.
If you were that dumb, you can't spend $2 on a chip. I mean, for me, I didn't really want to walk. I was like, do I walk? Do I order it online? You know what? Let me just call.
Yeah. Okay, so I think... Right, do you have the screen?
Yeah. The whole...
Should be... I modified a fox and hound detector with pointy tip to help find traces. Loud audio where traces, silent where traces broke. Get at Home Depot. Huh. You're hot on your microphone. Zoink. Interesting. Maybe it's just that crappy lavalier that I have is... Actually, yeah, because yours is pointing at me.
Oh.
I suck at
Where should I hide this?
I hate lavalier microphones. Everybody asks why I wear the ShamWow one, but...
This is where you just need a massive little duct tape.
Every single video I've ever seen on YouTube, they managed to be able to wear a lavalier mic, and I still haven't figured it out 4 years in. Okay. So... let's see if this blows up everything. Do you blow up? That's my DCN. Oh, this is going to do the on-off, 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 on nonsense. Let's get the light up.
Oh, first try.
Hey, light.
I'm live.
Yeah, for those people who think I'm scamming.
Right. How do you really know?
All right. Let's see what.
Oh, yeah.
No blinking. No blinking. So, I should take that off and make you do it, actually.
You really should.
Yeah. Practice is sake. What the?
Because I need to. Like,
All right. So
even
now
though it's not something I think our business is geared towards, for those who don't know, we are not board specialists in any way, shape, or form. We,
But then what if I take it off and you can't reattach it?
I think I have faith.
All right. Let's see. Let's have the chat decide. Should I take this off so make him reattach it so that he learns, or should we leave it as is because it works?
I came to be shamed and learned a lesson, so.
Actually, okay. Let's do for fun's sake.
Ship one for me.
Okay. Get those lights off, says Avocado. All right. Back to the drawing board.
Take it off.
All right.
Cool. We're waiting for this day.
Should be fun.
All right. This is great. You want me to pull the wire out too? Do everything?
Which wire? The wire's gone.
Oh. Wait, you already took it out?
Yeah.
You want me to take the driver off too and then redo it?
I think you. Let's see if you could do it with the driver there.
All right. Let's go for driver there then. Let's see what we got here. Dang, this is the first time I got to play with this little guy.
Someone says never touch a running system. Where's the fun in that?
Yeah, let's see.
Okay.
So I just want to
Watermark.
see how much solder we got left there. That's good. All right, where is your flux, senor?
Everywhere.
These giant tubes. I always wondered what this would be like. I'm so stuck on quick. And where is your wire?
It's on the spool, right above the solder spool.
Of course it would be. Where else would you keep a NIM? Alright. I am going to go.
Damn straight, T-Rose. Practice makes perfect.
I'm going to go to the smaller point first. This one I wanted to be flat. There we go. Can we use what's existing? No. We're not going to be cheap today. Not when Lewis has a giant thing of solder. solder. Should be good, actually. Legitimately flux everywhere. Let's get Eric's out of the picture. I'm a fan of these tweezers. That's how I tell if both sides can move. See, it's not attached. No.
I don't know what.
Maybe she didn't know better.
No, come on. Like, you think Putin, with all his, resources and intellect, he's gonna allow that shit?
An old lady to put
like this, like,
and put a balloon in front of the camera?
Yeah, come on.
Maybe.
You have to see it like from both sides. Like, clearly, this is.
Everybody hires idiots, you know.
I know, but like, the point was that you make it, not that obvious. Because this is just like in your face.
But you never know when the person you're hiring is an idiot. Maybe it was that. That's where.
With that type of money, trust me, he can actually do the fucking search needed.
Alright, let's read some YouTube comments. Nice Samsung Care shirt. A student from UBREAKIFX. Not student.
Not student.
Just
I
trolling.
Wish I could go back in time to those days.
Thought you don't. That's.
Alright, now here's where I'm going blind. How do you clean this up?
I'm debating between the Quick 861DW and DE. Do you think the 200 watts and 80 liters extra is worth $100?
No.
You don't need the power that this thing has. I mean, I use it on 120, but that's because I'm stubborn and impatient. I should not be using this on 120 ever. I'm just, I like turning things. I have the same bad habit with the air conditioner. If I'm warm, I turn it to the lowest setting, and then I wonder a few minutes later when it's 55 degrees why I'm freezing. You really don't need more power than this unless you're trying to blast the board from the other room.
I'm off. I know I'm off because I see I'm off.
What?
This is that where you put that ball,
yeah, that's
right?
not soldered.
Yeah.
No, I didn't even put the ball. I just wound up using the nub.
Oh, yeah,
which
yeah,
is
the
tin.
little nub that was there. But what's tricky to me is that it's not moving off of there, so I'm just gonna...
But that doesn't look soldered already.
No, I know it's not. That's what I'm saying. The thing is it's not, like it's... See how it's stuck? I don't know if it got on the end.
No, just scrape it back and forth. You'll make it.
If it did.
Now let's move me out of the way.
I think that is as straightforward as that's going to get. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to...
Also, do you know that you have to scrape the enamel off it? Why am I reading the comments? You know how enamel wire works, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The coating
I don't
that's
know
on
why.
there?
Yeah, I was reading.
No, I went through. With
I was reading the comments. I shouldn't have done that.
The soldering iron. From here to here is fine.
How can you use this tip of the soldering iron? I like the soldering iron. It has it's a knife tip. It's
Now we got a smaller piece to work with. this.
Lucky duck. Us Canadian UBIFers didn't get fancy shirts even though we got Samsung authorized first.
Wow, bold statement. Bold statement.
My message above says it all. Seriously grateful for everything I've learned from you. Starting my own business for repair, modding, and design. No bull, you've made a huge positive impact to my life. Thank you. I stopped there because I'm used to reading POS as a different acronym.
As sloppy as it is, I might have made it. There's lunch.
Well,
Canadian U-Biffers. All right.
wonder if that store on 38 West 8th Street is still open. That was the one I was going to rent before this one, but this old lady didn't, she didn't let me take it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the one that we got, there's something people don't realize about New York, and that is, if you can make a successful business, now I'm starting to think it really doesn't matter what it is. If you can have a successful business in New York, you can have a business anywhere. People don't understand how hard it is, how just because there's more people, not everyone, in a business like this, you have to rely on something breaking something, right?
Yeah.
I solely survive off broken screens. That is what UBREAKIFIX came up on. So if people don't break their screens, well, guess what? We're shit out of luck.
Yeah.
And the rent doesn't change. You're still getting $20,000 a month in bills. So it's like, you gotta understand how hard it is for somewhere out here compared to anywhere else, especially in this industry.
When I read people's rents in other places, I just want to take the tweezers and shove them into my eye.
When I saw that, I was like, and how much were those underground spots again? Do we have to have floor level?
Michael Oberdick was telling me the rates he was paying for these 3,000 or 4,000 square foot warehouses, and I'm like, you must. But
Crazy. So,
and I have to lose weight so that I could fit through my door.
I have to lose weight because UBIF sends extra small Samsung shirts. Canada, you could take this off my hands if you want. I think we're good. I guess there's only really one way to find out, right?
Yep, plug it in and see what you get. There's no
Well,
beeping since the chip is already on.
Yeah, I was going to say it's already through there. So, where's your cables at?
So that should be power. No, I put your screen over here. Yoink.
We don't need your data. Your data's not important to us.
All right.
Only your monies.
Let's see if we get a light. A green light, a backlight, a orange light.
And any light.
I'll settle for anything, honestly.
That's typically how it goes.
I pay $300 a month for rent. Damn, the Midwest feels good.
Oh, yeah, go fuck yourself.
Curse you. Yeah, what he said. $300. Probably pay $300 for
Yeah, what is that? $300? Like, I think.
$300 electric bill.
Is that New York's McDonald's revised menu pricing right now for a cheeseburger?
Almost.
Oh.
Happens to me too.
Yeah, I usually don't get it right.
I hate the on nature of this one because it's so much suspense to see if it actually works.
Why is that? Did they...
I don't know why this model has an RTC reset. When you unplug the battery in the charger, it does
At
that.
the same time, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like... T-da!
Aha!
Oh, I should move.
There's a light, and for those of you who don't believe it,
The conspiracy.
bam. All right. That was,
Not all screen repair guys will have to stick for screen repairs.
that was fun.
When UBIF is done.
So what were you originally doing, and what would you do different next time?
Okay, so this is what I did the first time. I didn't look. I pulled up the schematic. I was gonna say I didn't look at the schematic. I looked at the schematic. I found where that went to. I didn't check to see where the closest jump point was. I didn't think of anything other than I need to make this pad that's gone, when I put this capacitor down, have some sort of life. So I jumped straight to, what was it, number 14 off of the driver. And I ran that wire and left it there for me to stare at for like 2 hours. And I didn't do, after I put that down, I didn't test anything. I didn't run any type of testing. I didn't use my multimeter, nothing. I just went off pure instinct, this looks fucked up.
So run the
replace
wire
it.
to the thing that looks messed up.
Exactly. That was the goal, was let me be a jackass and run a wire into the thing that looks the most messed up. And I did. And granted, if there was some sort of nub or anything there, I probably would have been. But the second I got to that point, I realized unless I know where I can see PP3V3 coming from, is it coming from the driver? Is it coming from that capacitor to the driver? Is that where that input's coming from? What is the true diagnostic? So I think if you are going to get anywhere close to board repair, to phone repair, to anything, if you don't diagnose it, you're a fool. You're an absolute fool.
There's a lot of digging to do to get to
there,
that.
and there is. I mean, but
Yeah, you had to dig through a few layers of board.
you got it, and
find
just a few minutes to get to that. And obviously, the difference between us is you do this for a living, and we change screens.
On some of them, the fun thing is when you dig, you're actually digging on the newer retinas, the part that blows up by the LED driver. When you dig through it, you actually get to a sleep signal. So I had that happen where I dug, and I'm like, yay, I found the signal. But I dug through 3 layers of sleep. So every time they would close the computer and put it to sleep, it would crash upon reawaking. And I said, but you have backlight now. And they go, yeah, but it crashes when it sleeps. And they said,
but you got
I said, but it has backlight now. And I said, well, dude, what
just
do you,
leave it open all the time.
You want everything?
You got a desktop now. It's
You want
working.
everything? You want no light? What's more useful to you? At least now you can turn it on. You want to carry around the flashlight?
And I think customers obviously got to understand too, like what they're bringing. And the thing with this is, I'm in a spot so many times where we see people come in and they want stuff same day, 2 hours. Can you do it? And then they hear anything over $100, and it's fuck you guys, I'm out. And it's like, okay, well, go buy a new $1,000 computer then, enjoy it.
Yeah.
I would say, differently in the future. Again, your multimeter is your friend.
Dig.
It's 110% dig.
And try to find the lazy way out. Because running the wire under the chip is very hard.
So
I just look for the lazy way out.
I thought it would have been a lot easier because I was like, all right, this enameled wire, I don't think it'll be an issue if I run it around this ball. And then, I swear, instantly that I put heat to it, I just watched that wire straighten itself out and bridge 2 balls. And I'm like, well, there's nothing worse with 2 balls and a wire running through it.
I try to avoid running jumpers under chips whenever possible because it's no fun.
Yeah.
See if we have any fun comments before leaving. What do we? I'll take your shirt, but I'm XL. Glad to see you're doing more than screens. I'm working towards the same. Thanks. Awesome.
Well, good for
Let's
you,
see.
Alexander. Oh.
When Louis sees other
talk
business
to you.
owners rent. And that's when anybody in New York City sees other business owners as rent.
Yeah.
In California, the further you are away from Silicon Valley, the cheaper everything gets, I can imagine.
$300 mom's basement. I was going to say that's pretty accurate.
Hello from Israel. What else? Use the tip to transfer heat instead of just the very tip.
The tip is just good no matter what.
Someone says, you're hot. Is he single? Are you single?
I'm not single and I'm not for sale.
All
right, you know what? I lied.
All right. So, that's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. Thanks for coming by.
Dude, thank you.
All right.
This is